Hello and welcome to ThePrint. This is Ishadrita Lahiri and we have with us Dr. Ashwani Kumar, former Union Law Minister and I'm going to say former Congress leader now. So sir, you've tendered your resignation from the AICC after 46 years today. First question obviously, why? After so many years.
Quite clearly, I felt that the Congress of today had no value for people like us. I felt that the weight that ought to have been given to our views was not given. There was a general feeling of unease and a feeling of indifference, which I found very difficult to accept after so many years of dedicated and loyal service. I have nothing against Srimati Sonia Gandhi. She is a fine lady, a wise lady, but quite clearly the imprint of her judgment is no longer visible in the internal functioning of the Congress party. I also felt that I still had a window, given the few years of my life, to be able to serve public causes and national interest outside the party fold. And the obsessive and conflicting politics which debilitates democracy in its entirety was something that I thought was not in national interest. So it would be my endeavor now to try and forge commonality of interest between leaders with a view to promoting a progressive and constructive dialogue to strengthen India's democracy. Whether I do it outside any party fold, or by joining a party, or by my own exertions, is to be decided at a later point of time.
So that is something we can see you're still thinking about, whether or not you want to take the party politics route or,
I'm still thinking, although my very serious reflections on the critical national issues in the past 4 years have brought me to the conclusion that for a major political change, political activism is necessary. The intellectual environment creates the conditions for political activism, but actual change is a function of political activity, which is normally best carried through a membership of a political party.
Absolutely. So, sir, coming back to the first question, there are two things, very significant things you mentioned in your first answer, that you felt at unease within the party, and secondly, that you don't see the imprint of Mrs. Gandhi's decision making in the way the party is functioning. So these two things, sir, firstly, what made you feel at unease, and why do you think if Mrs. Gandhi's imprints are not there in the party's functioning, then who's running the party? Where is the decision making coming from?
Look, there are obvious answers to your questions. Everybody knows. I don't think I need to get there. It is for the Congress president to decide how she has to run the party. She is the president, she is the leader. And I just got that feeling because I worked with her for a very long time. I know that her judgments are broadly correct. But many things that are happening, that are leading to the exodus of senior and younger Congress people from the party, shows that something is not right. Now, it is for the leadership to address what is wrong. I cannot advise them, and certainly not now.
Did the leadership have any inkling about your decision? Did they know that this is something
I had not spoken to Mrs. Gandhi at all.
Okay. But, I mean, why after 46 years why take that decision without even speaking to her?
There's no point speaking to her because there is nothing she does not know.
Okay.
And from time to time, I have been in writing to her, I've been expressing my views, but she has always been very civil to me, very nice to me. I have nothing against her personally at all. But when it comes to the way, generally speaking, the party is run, and let us not focus on myself, there was a general feeling of unease and discomfort. And the discomfort arose from the fact that I felt belittled on account of a number of circumstances, not one, number of circumstances.
Would you like to give us some examples?
No.
Okay. Two just broad questions I have, sir, before we end. I know you have other interviews to do. Firstly, there's this, across the Congress party, and even I'm coming from UP right now, and there seems to be this sort of generational tiff older leaders like you, a lot of them in fact have expressed this, that there seems to be a certain kind of sidelining, and then there are these younger leaders who want to make their space in the party. So because of that, there seems to be this kind of generational war between the younger leaders and the old guard, as they are called.
See, I feel the youngsters, except for a few exceptions, are not ready yet. The elder leaders are feeling disheartened. So there's a huge vacuum. Na khuda hi mila, na visale sanam, na idhar ke rahe, na udhar ke rahe. This is the story of the Congress Party. And it's unfortunate that the party of 136 years of history is today in no man's land. It has almost been reduced to the position of a regional party. It is there only in 3 states. I don't know what will happen after the elections, but as of now it is in 3 states. The total membership of the Congress Party from the entire country is 52, whereas today Mrs. Mamata Banerjee alone can get 42 MPs in Parliament. So these are facts that tell their own story. You don't have to seek answers too far.
Final question, sir. I mean, we just found out that you've just come back from Punjab. That's also even while you were involved with the Congress Party, you were involved in the party's functioning in Punjab to some extent. What is the sense you're getting from the ground?
I was very marginally involved in the functioning. I did what I thought was my duty, but the ground swell in Punjab seems to be clearly in favor of AAP, because AAP is the party that has given the slogan of change. And that's the slogan that I believe has attracted the people of Punjab. What will happen on the 10th, I don't know, because there are constituency variations. But as of now, AAP seems to be in a lead position, quite clearly.
Last question, sir. I mean, and you said that you wouldn't want to advise them right now, but if you had to, and it's my job to ask you this as a reporter, if you had to advise the Congress Party on the way forward, what would it be? And
I will tell them, diminished leaders cannot make a grand party.
Thank you so much for speaking to ThePrint, sir.